Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Scoop. Today, I'm going to be doing another NFL team mock draft, all 7 rounds. Today, I'm going to be doing my favorite team, the New York Jets. So, to say the least, I'm very excited to this video. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. We are about 11 days away from the NFL draft. So, we are really going to be pumping out draft content in the next few days. So, make sure to stay tuned and let's just get straight into the video. So, starting off, we got the Jets at pick number 13. I'm not going to be doing any trades, so I'm just gonna reject these. Although this is a place where I could see the Jets trading down. And this for me, in my opinion, would not be an ideal draft board because I think as much as I think I think there are some good prospects that could be in range for the Jets, but some of my favorite prospects here, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who the Jets I think could really use a slot receiver right now with the trading of Elijah Moore, or a guy like Broderick Jones. So if the Jets also could really add a tackle, someone who I feel like would be a bit better at right tackle than some of the other prospects in the draft. They're both off the board. These would be probably my top two prospects. Also, Broderick Jones, a guy that the Jets have actually had for an official visit, so someone I could really actually see them taking at 13, but they are both off the board here. So yeah, this is a tough selection here. I'm gonna go with Peter Skoronski from Northwestern, and it's a bit of a risky pick, and I'm a bit uncomfortable with it. And I really like it's nothing to do with Peter Skoronski, and I really like him. In fact, I would say he's my fourth right now he's my fourth prospect on my entire draft board right now. But the reason why it's just a bit risky to me is just because of the fact that while I think he'll translate well and be a great tackle or a great guard or whatever, his arm length does bode questions about how what really is his ceiling as a tackle, and obviously how will he do against the more elusive edge rushers, and how fast can he? I think he has good hand. He's good using his hands, but obviously you can only do with what you're given. And physically, I think he's not. I mean, he's opposing, but he doesn't have as much arm length as some of the other tackles in the draft, which would make him um it could make him a guard at the NFL level, a very good guard. Some people think he could really be an all-pro level guard in the NFL, which is why I really like him because I think he will be successful no matter what. But are you drafting at 13 someone to be a solid tackle or a really good guard? And when the Jets already have two guards that they're committed to, one of the best guards in the NFL, Elijah Vera Tucker, and then Laken Tomlinson, who they paid the big bucks last offseason to get to acquire his services. It's hard to kind of switch him to guard. I know Elijah Vera Tucker, another guy who can play tackle, but he's also so good at the guard position, so I think they would keep him there. So Skaronti a tackle, I still think that would be an upgrade over the right tackle position over someone like Max Mitchell, who I like as well, but just isn't at the level that I feel like Skaronski could hit. But I think while it is obviously not ideal that his arm length is so short for a tackle, I still think he is one of the best overall prospects in the draft. And while it does sound like it, you can't complain too much about getting a prospect like him at 13. But let's move on now to the next pick, 42. It's a tough one. I don't know if I can do trades because I might just trade one of the picks. I might because one of the picks, in my opinion, is gonna go. Yep, I'm gonna trade do the Aaron Rodgers trade right now. I believe it'll probably be a 40. I'd say 43 and a 2024 second or first. I'm gonna just do a first. I think it'll be a conditional first, but let's just get that out of the way. Well, I can't. You can't force trades in this. Well, I'm just gonna pick with 42 and 43 then, and assume that the Jets got an incredible deal for Aaron Rodgers. But at 42, 40, yeah, at 42, I'm gonna go with Mozzie Smith from Michigan, and this is a pick that really, this is a pick really. I feel like the Jets. It's a low key need. The Jets lost Sheldon Rankins, which is a bigger loss than a lot of people realize. He was someone who was their first and second down D tackle. He was someone that was really a kind of an underrated cog to this Jets pass rush, and why the defensive line, why the defense really as a whole really worked, because Quinn Williams obviously one of the best defensive tackles in the league, but you need two good defensive tackles. And the Jets, they did add Quinn Jefferson, who I really like as a pass rusher, was ranked among the best in terms of pressuring. But other than that, they aren't really that great for for getting a guy that really can be a first and second down defensive tackle. And Mozzie Smith, another guy that the Jets did invite for a visit. Someone who is a really solid run stuffer, did play first and second down, has I think a lot of upside as a pass rusher as well, and someone that I think really could develop, especially alongside a guy like Quinnen Williams who's getting doubled or maybe even tripled at times. I think this is an ideal situation for a prospect like him that I think has a lot of upside and at least gives the Jets a good stuffing presence. But now again, moving on 43 now, I'm gonna go tough here. So I would have tough because John Michael Schmitz was right there. I would have loved him, but I think the Jets might get Ben Jones in free agency. He is right now was released by the Titans, and the Jets have been the team that I feel like have always been most interested in him. So I could see that happening soon. So I'm not gonna go center. I'm going to go Josh Downs from North Carolina, and this is a guy of 5'9", 5'10", kind of someone who's exclusively slot, but I think that works for the Jets. Someone that's kind of um someone who could really fit into that role. Obviously, they lost Elijah Moore, so you're kind of trading Elijah Moore for another version, kind of Elijah Moore, a slightly younger version as well. Josh Downs, someone who I really like going to the NFL. He is only 5'9", 5'10", but he plays really big. He's very surprisingly good at contested catches for his height. Obviously, I think he has a good release, kind of a shifty route runner, and someone that again, after the Jets receiving core, it's and obviously they have Garrett Wilson, which is great, but other than that, it's not amazing. Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, they're just okay pieces, but I think, but adding a guy like a Josh Downs is someone that really, I think something that would really make this receiving core kind of scary because now you've got four solid pieces, and I know maybe not a true receiver two. I think you could consider Lazard that, but I think he's more of a high end receiver three. But you have four solid receivers. And I think that's something that Aaron Rodgers will work with pretty well, considering that he will have again a good offensive line with really all those pieces pretty secured at the moment. So I think that would be a good pick for the Jets there at 43. Again, it is very likely that they wouldn't have 43, and I would love to address receiver, but at the same time it is hard when you're going to have limited picks because of the Aaron Rodgers trade. But if they did have 42 and 43, which I think the only way I could really see that happening is if an Aaron Rodgers trade happened after the NFL draft. I think those would be the best picks for the Jets. Now going into the 112th pick, um yeah, now again, the good thing about the Jets is their roster is one of the more, in my opinion, one of the more complete rosters in the entire NFL. But if I was to make a selection here, I would go with Olusegun Uluwatimi again from Michigan, a guy with really a lot of upside going into this draft. Was one of the higher ranked centers in all of college football last year, and someone that can again I think it's likely the Jets would get a center, but at the moment they don't have one under roster. They also did sign Cologne from the Baltimore Ravens during this free agency. A low key move that could be that he's a solid backup center, but just in case again any center deal falls through for the Jets, I think a guy like Oluwatimi would be a very foolproof backup plan. Someone that I think even if he wasn't put in the position where he needs to start, I don't think that would be necessarily the end of the world. So I really like him as a prospect. So I would take him there. 143 now. Um, tough, tough here. I'm going down. I'm gonna go with um I'm gonna go with Dorian Williams from Tulane. Again, another piece where I think not necessarily really a need because I think they have good solid pieces there already, but just add to the linebacker room. I think if they don't re-sign Quan Alexander, someone who I really like the Jet would want the Jets to re-sign, one of the best presences on the defense, a real leadership presence as well. And I think he's someone that could be someone that if he were to stay would be definitely a huge net positive for a defense that was already so good last year. But if they weren't, again, adding a guy like Dorian Williams from Tulane, someone with, I believe, again, solid upside, he would probably slot in as probably a linebacker four, probably behind obviously behind CJ Mosley and then Quincy Williams. I believe Jamin Sherwood would probably be ahead of him to start as well. We'd see how he did in camp, but that would be again another just I think it'd be a solid pick. Kind of, they don't really, and they don't really have a lot of I know CJ. I mean, they have Quincy Williams, but I think you would like to add a bit more speed to that linebacker and kind of like how he was with the Niners. But so that would kind of just be, a pick for possible upside there. Now you've got the 207th pick. I believe this is the last pick I'm gonna go. Yeah, round 7. They don't have any picks there. Um, so round 7. Mm, it's the tough pick. I'm going to go with hmm, I think I'm gonna go with same Xavier Henderson from Michigan State. Someone that I think just could just compete probably. I don't compete for a roster spot. The Jets safety room isn't exactly great. It's not bad. They added Chuck Clark, which is a piece I really like. They still have Jordan Whitehead. You've got guys like possible pieces that could develop, like Tony Adams there. I don't know if they plan on keeping Ashton Davis, but I think that's a possibility. Will Parks, a good leadership presence, but they don't really have someone that I feel like is a true they don't really have a true like second, like a free safety, I feel like. And Henderson's someone that I just feel like maybe could fight for that role with along with Tony Adams. And again, just more competition on the more competition on the roster, the better, especially when you're going in for Aaron Rodgers and are really basically a statement that is going all in for a Super Bowl. So, but that is it for the mock draft. Again, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. We have 3 other hosts, Kian, Charlie, and Dylan. So make sure to follow all their content when they post as well. And that is it. Thanks for watching.